Thank you, Ron. Nicely underway at Rogers Arena as the curtain goes up on the Canucks home opener with their new head coach, John Tortorella, trying to reinvent the home team. And the Oilers coming to town with their rookie coach, Dallas Eakins, saying, "We will not bow to this team anymore." The Canucks playing shorthanded tonight without first-line right winger Alex Burrows, who will be out for a couple of weeks, Kelly, after injuring his foot blocking a shot against San Jose.
Let's take a look at it, Mark. Right in front on a 5-on-3. Patrick Marleau winds up with the one-timer, and Burrows, in an attempt to block the shot, does so. But he's not able to play tonight, and John Tortorella is telling us he might be out a couple of weeks, so Jannik Hansen finds his spot on the right side with the Sedin twins.
Some pushing and shoving at the face-off as Hansen gets his hands into the face of the Oilers captain, Andrew Ference. The Canucks playing with 11 forwards tonight and 7 defensemen as Yannick Weber moves into the lineup.
Take a look. These two teams certainly don't have very good feelings towards each other. We did that preseason game, Mark, on the September 21st, and there's a bunch of stuff in that one as well.
Yes, Dale Weiss and Zach Kassian suspended after taking headshots at a couple of the Oilers' top players in Taylor Hall and Jordan Eberle. And we've got roughing penalties right off the bat here as Ference and Hansen go to the penalty box. The 4-on-4 hockey here early in the first period. Taylor Hall all by himself, setting up along the boards, throws it into the corner. Edler is there. Hemsky takes it away from him, tries to center, stopped by the paddle of Roberto Luongo. Luongo, who made 16 saves in the first period against San Jose Thursday night in a 4-1 loss, facing 35 shots in the Sharks' onslaught. Here's Edler taking the pass from Henrik Sedin. Sedin banging into his brother Daniel. It gets over his stick. Garrison pinching now for Vancouver. Henrik behind the net, in front, side of the goal, banging away. Another chance for Daniel. 2 chances. And both Sedins go down in a heap as Schmid gets physical at the side of the Oiler goal. David Perron to the right side. Petrie now attacking the net. Fires! Oh! Scores! Right underneath Luongo. Jeff Petrie jumping the rush for the Oilers.
Well, the Canucks had a couple good chances, and then the Oilers head up ice quickly. David Perron spots Jeff Petrie having a step on the defenseman Edler, and just from an awkward angle, he just throws it right through the legs of Roberto Luongo. Luongo clearly was not suspecting that shot from that angle from Petrie, and that's one that Roberto Luongo didn't want to give up at this point. 2 minutes into the first period.
The Ann Arbor, Michigan native Jeff Petrie showing his offensive prowess as a defenseman, beating Luongo through the 5-hole. And a quick start for Edmonton. Hall ahead for Justin Schultz. He attacks now. Schultz shoots, stopped by Luongo. Schultz still with the puck. Back to the point. Belov to the circle. Eberle leaves it for Hall. Oilers buzzing. Hall's shot is right on goal. Stopped again by Luongo. Belov fires it towards the net. It goes off the stick of Luongo and out of play as the Oilers heat it up.
Well, Justin Schultz sure made a name for himself last year with his excellent play when he came up from the Oklahoma City Barons. And here's a play where he just goes right in between the defenseman Hamhuis and Tanev and gets a pretty good chance on Roberto Luongo right there. And then Taylor Hall gets a shot on Roberto Luongo right here, and Roberto's able to see that one and turn that one aside.
Off the drop, the exit, tangling along the boards with Perron, who maintains possession. He gets it back to Nick Schultz. Schultz with no shot, back to Perron. His pass goes off a Canuck stick back to center ice, and Petrie outlets to his partner on this shift. Nick Schultz. Back up ice comes Edmonton. Perron sidesteps the hip check from Bieksa. And we've got a penalty coming here, a tripping call. And the Oilers are going on the power play as Bieksa heads to the penalty box.
Kevin Bieksa in an attempt to step up on the play on David Perron.
Number 3, 2 minutes, tripping.
Right at the Canucks blue line, you're going to see him come across right here. He stumbles, actually, Kevin Bieksa does, and that's why he falls into the feet of Perron. He misjudged the speed of Perron, and he takes a 2-minute tripping penalty.
The Oilers power play ranked number 3 in the first week of this NHL season, 2 for 5 on Tuesday in a 5-4 loss to Winnipeg. Now we're 5-on-4 situation. Hansen out of the box, has his shot go off an Oilers stick, and Yakupov scoops it up. He's playing right wing on the second line tonight, moving up as Eberle moves to the fourth line, or rather the third line. Here's Yakupov, a rink-wide pass broken up by Garrison. In the corner, Hemsky along the boards with it. Setting up. Down low for Ryan Smith, back to Hemsky. Schultz is on the point. It's broken up. Schultz tries to get it deep but can't. Here's a breakaway now for Richardson, shorthanded. Richardson in, big shot. Brad Richardson, shorthanded to tie it here in Vancouver.
Jannik Hansen makes this play, in my opinion, in his own zone right here. Hemsky's going to try and go back to the point, and there's Hansen getting a stick on it, and then the clearing pass right there by Garrison. That brings Richardson. The Oilers in an attempt trying to keep the puck in the zone. They're not aware that Richardson's in behind their own defenseman. Nice little play to open up Dubnyk right there. Sides at 5-hole.
Brad Richardson with his first point as a Vancouver Canuck. The utility forward coming to Vancouver. The assist goes to Garrison at 3:42. Tanev around the boards. Perron will keep it in. Just under a minute now left in the Edmonton power play. Kessler hard on the forecheck. Beloff plays it off the boards. Arcabello leaves it for Eberle. Back to Arcabello. Rink wide into the skates of Perron, but he niftily gets it back up to his stick. A bouncing puck cleared by Hamhuis. Joensuu down along the boards. Arcabello had it taken away, and the Canucks will get it down the ice. 30 seconds to go now on the Oiler power play. Schultz winding up. His pass is too far for Yakupov. Garrison waits for it and sends it right back behind the net. Here's a chance now for Daniel Sedin getting some penalty kill time, along with Henrik in the late going of this Oiler power play. Boyd Gordon caught on the back check by Daniel. It pops to Yakupov. He's dancing. Leaves it for Hall. It pops over his stick. Sandarelli goes the other way. The Vancouver native stick handling fires. It's blocked by Ference as the Canucks get back to full strength. No shots on goal for the Oiler power play. Ference at the side of his goal. Outlets to center. Brown waiting for it. Will Acton will flip it softly. To the corner it goes off the stick of Luongo. Chris Tanev chasing. Here comes Jadzik, the big slugger on the fourth line for the Oilers. Edler jumping into the play by himself. A long shot that whistles wide on the stick side. Booth pressing. It goes off a stick and out of play.
Mark, there's a noticeable difference in the game that Yakupov and Perron have started with versus Winnipeg. Winnipeg, Dallas Aikens, their coach, said that those two guys started slowly. They kind of feel their way into the game. Well, tonight they're going right off the get-go, and like I said, it's noticeable. These guys have an energy about them, and they are skating right now.
Oilers beat the Canucks 5-2 and 4-1 in the same week during the preseason, but of course there were so many different faces and prospects in those lineups. Edmonton blowing that 2-goal lead in the second period in their season opener to Winnipeg to lose 5-4, and vowing to a man to cut down on turnovers, and Devin Dubnyk saying he'll be a lot better. Here's a turnover in the zone. Booth snaps a shot. It's blocked by Ladislav Schmid. A backhand in front for Kessler. He bangs at it the side of the goal. Taylor Hall is back to dig it out. Hall to the right side. Hemsky now. Head manning. Petrie jumping back into the rush. Smith a long shot. Warded off by Luongo. To the corner it goes. Kessler's pass ahead. Yannick Weber getting some work as a forward here tonight. And a big hit by Kessler along the boards as he runs over Hemsky in front of the Canuck bench. Zach Delpy, headman. Tostito's shot is soft and stopped by Dubnyk, and then Belov runs over Delpy at the end of the play, and it looks like we've got a penalty coming here to Belov. Belov going to the box. Vancouver on the power play when we come back to Vancouver. Anton Belov has a 2-minute minor for tripping.
Pretty obvious penalty right in front right there. Mark gets his stick in the legs of the Canuck player.
The Canucks were 1 for 6 on Thursday night on the power play against San Jose. Jason Garrison with that big blast in the first period. The Sedins out there along with Garrison on the point, and Edler. There's Garrison in front, a loose puck. They bang away. Kessler looking for it, and Dubnyk will cover it up for a whistle.
Mark, you talked about Garrison with that big blast scored Thursday. Well, this was a different kind of setup play. He just wristed at the net. There's a lot of traffic right there. Kessler in front. He's trying to bang away at it, but Devan Dubnyk was able to corral it after losing sight of it for a sec there. A little bit of traffic in front also.
It's kept in at the line by Garrison. His long shot is right on goal. Henrik Sedin is knocked down by Ladislav Schmid. Boyd Gordon and Will Acton are out there first for Edmonton on the kill. And they can't get it out of the zone. Edler leaves it for Daniel Sedin. Across for Garrison. Garrison back along the blue line for Edler. Edler along the boards. Waiting for it. Henrik Sedin to Daniel. Daniel in. Fans on the shot. Garrison on the backhand, and he misses the net. And finally, it's cleared down the ice by Gordon, who heads to the Oiler bench for a change. Both teams changing on the fly. Halfway through this power play for Vancouver. The pass is in behind Booth. Booth moving up to the second line on the right wing tonight because of the Burrows foot injury. He's expected to be out for a couple of weeks. Loose puck now. Eberle banging at it. Santorelli goes down. Hemsky with a nice move around Bieksa, but Hamhuis is back to cover up. It's center ice. Santorelli dropping it back inside the Vancouver zone. Bieksa settles the puck, gets to center, and chips it in the Oilers zone. 24 seconds to go in the power play. Ferentz around the dasher boards, kept in by Booth. Santorelli and Booth banging away for the puck. It's still in the zone. Higgins drops it for Booth. He winds and fires and misses the net. Hamhuis now keeps it along the boards. Higgins holding on to the cycle. The pass comes back to Booth. To Bieksa. He fires it wide. The rebound off the back of the net. Santorelli scoops it up. Booth can't get all of it. Here's a chance for Higgins. Back to Bieksa. Bieksa fires. Pad save by Devan Dubnyk. Oilers back to full strength, but another penalty coming here to Edmonton as Bieksa charges in deep. Luongo heads to the bench for an extra attacker. Santorelli trying to hold on to the puck. Belov back on the ice, takes him into the boards, and will get a whistle. And a high sticking penalty now coming to the Oilers. And Vancouver going right back on the power play.
Anton Belov again, the culprit here for the Edmonton Oilers, just gets a stick up right here in an attempt to clear the puck. I don't think Booth was cut.
77, 2 minutes.
And then Higgins, nice pass right here, good puck support. Bieksa comes in at an excellent save. That's about 12 inches high only on the stick side of Devan Dubnyk. That is a tough save.
So Belov back in the box for high sticking. Kessler and the Sedins back out along with Edler and Garrison. Vancouver 0 for 1 on the power play so far tonight with 2 shots on goal. Daniel Sedin for his brother Henrik. Back to the point. Garrison across for Edler. Edler waits. Gordon trying to get in his lane. Edler to the circle. Daniel Sedin around the boards. It's cut off by Schmid. He gets it to the perimeter. Acton off his skate, not out. Edler throws it towards the net. Loose puck now. Here's Kessler with a shot. It ricochets off Petrie, and he's injured. Petrie got hit in front of the net, and the puck, I don't know where it went. Looked like it was stuck up in his mask or something.
Dallas Eakins was telling me today that he just loved the game that Boyd Gordon brought on Tuesday. Here's an example of what he does really well. Edler wanted to go through the passing lane right there, and Gordon takes that away. That's a really smart play. Just loves how he's a low-maintenance player as well.
Minute 32 left in the high-sticking penalty to Belov. Hemsky in the circle against Kessler. One by Kessler directly to Edler. A shot. Big rebound. Ferentz can't steady it. Henrik Sedin back to the point for Garrison. To Henrik along the boards. Henrik Sedin's saucer pass broken up by Ference. Hemsky there to help. They still have it. Henrik with a shot and a pad save by Dubnyk. Edler across Garrison. Shot again through traffic. And Dubnyk gets his trapper out to make the save.
Well, Alex Edler, right off the faceoff, he gets in position right here and just wires one, and Dubnyk makes that look very easy, which it wasn't. Edler can really shoot the puck. Here's one that goes off the skate of Kessler. Dubnyk sharp so far, even though he's given up the breakaway goal to Brad Richardson. He has looked good.
Acton loses the draw. Bieksa scoops it up. At the point, Hamhuis through traffic. Another bouncing puck in front, cleared to the boards. Bieksa is in deep for Vancouver. Booth along the boards. Acton got it free. Bieksa keeps it in play. David Booth comes off the boards into the high slot. His shot is blocked by Nick Schultz. Hansen, stick check by Ference. Higgins helping out. Hansen gets it back around the boards to the left point. Hamhuis bouncing it back in deep along the boards. Higgins, his pass goes right by Boyd and out to center and inside the Vancouver zone. 35 seconds to go in the Vancouver power play. Jannik Hansen has it knocked off his stick. Right back to Bieksa. Bieksa, a one-timer. Hamhuis misses the net. And it's cleared off the boards by Petrie. Time for one last rush. But Joensuu, that big Finn, is in on the forecheck. Here comes Bieksa. Up the right side. Mike Santorelli. Around the boards, in behind the Oiler goal. Petrie can't get it past Stanton. Ryan Stanton at the blue line. Now Edmonton will get it to center as Bieksa hustles off on the change. And the penalty to Belov is over. 3 shots on goal on the Canuck power play. But they couldn't solve Dubnyk on that one. Justin Schultz for Gadzik. The fourth liners are back out for Edmonton. Dallas Eakins admitting he should have played them more in that Tuesday season opener against Winnipeg. Gazdic had his first NHL goal on his first NHL shift in that game.
Pretty good way to start.
Not bad at all. His mother jetting in from Toronto to see it all.
Nice.
Gazdic now bouncing it just inside the Vancouver line. Stanton throwing it back down the ice. Ference picks it up. Quickly across to Justin Schultz. Schultz nowhere to go. Sestito is on him. A mismatch in size there. Ference now in trouble. Throws it around the boards. Right to the point. Garrison waiting. He bounces it deep. Ference on it again. Tries to get it off the boards. Gadzik is knocked. It's kept in by Zach Dalpe. But now the Oilers get to center. Arcobello flipping it softly in the Vancouver zone. Jason Garrison. Across to Edler. Weber to center where David Perron is waiting. Across to Belov. Finally out of the box after 2 consecutive penalties. He gets it in deep for Edmonton. Hansen chopping it to center. Daniel Sedin is there first. He'll gain the line, leaving it for Henrik. Henrik now. Here comes Edler. His pass right to Edler. And a big save as Dubnyk was waiting for that. Sedin's with some support from the blue line as Edler jumps the rush. And Devan Dubnyk makes the save again for Edmonton.
7:50 to go in the first period. Oilers and Canucks tied at 1. Dallas Eakins, last year as a player, was 03-04 with the Manitoba Moose. It was also Ryan Kessler's first year in pro hockey. He was a teammate of Eakins with the Moose. Hard to believe they were teammates given they're separated in age by 17 years. This morning they renewed acquaintances, shook hands as Eakins was preparing to meet the media in the hallway at Rogers Arena. And Eakins said to Kessler, "We're going to kick your ass tonight." But I think he meant it in a nice way, Mark.
Yes, it was a gentlemanly handshake and interchange. Back to the point. Stanton across. Pass tip right on goal. There's a loose puck just cleared in the nick of time as Gordon goes down along the boards to Eberle. Jordan Eberle can't make a play with it. A bouncing puck just gets out past Sedin, who was covering at the blue line. Higgins was asked what Kessler looked like back then as a kid. He said he was as skinny as a coyote who hadn't eaten in 3 days. I thought that was pretty
I've
good.
never had that problem.
Henrik Sedin can't get it deep. Blocked by David Perron. He's got Eberle on the left wing. They crisscross inside the zone. Perron shadowed by Henrik Sedin. He gets it past, but it goes into the corner. Justin Schultz dropping it back. Perron picking it up at the top of the circle. Fires it off the blocker of Luongo. Ferentz's shot is tipped high into the glass. Arcobello there first for Edmonton. Bouncing it to Justin Schultz. To the captain, Ference. To Schultz. Back to Arcobello. He waits, fires it on goal. Traffic in front is blocked by Zanev en route to the Vancouver net. And Hamhuis will pick it up as the Oilers back off and head for a change. There's a near turnover there as Hamhuis is pounced on by Yakupov, who's physical with him. Loose puck is picked off by Arcobello, throwing it behind the Canuck goal. Hamhuis again is hit by Yakupov. Yakupov with another hit. This time on Daniel Sedin as Booth comes to center. He's got Kessler with him. David Booth, shot right on, stopped by Dubnyk. The puck is cleared to the boards, but not out. Booth rimming it right back inside the Edmonton zone. Smith waiting for it. He hacks at it. It's knocked high for a high stick at the blue line. We'll take your game to the next level with Hockey Night's Second Screen. Interact and compete for cash prizes. Be a part of our broadcast. Engage with us at cbcsports.ca/second screen. Well, the shots right now are 17-6 in favor of the Canucks in this 1-1 hockey game as Dubnyk has been tested time and time again in the first period.
He sure responded well after having a poor outing versus Winnipeg, and this is how your coach really hopes that you respond. He knows he's a fighter, and Devin is doing just that.
Delayed offside as the Canucks have to tag up, and it gives Belov room to come to center. The big Russian from the KHL chips it in the zone. Stanton caught on the forecheck by Will Acton. It's kept into the blue line by Belov. Has a chance for Acton. It's blocked in front by Tanev. That's his second block of the shift. And Tom Sestito will gain the line as the Canucks change and dump it in. Nick Schultz back for the Oilers. Ahead to Mike Brown. Brown, a long bounce pass off the end boards. Arcobello chasing it down. Jason Garrison, back pass to Kessler. Booth, rink wide, but too far for Edler. Jumping again, and this will be hybrid icing. Well, Devan Dubnyk, as you mentioned, Kelly, had a rough start in the home opener with a couple of soft goals.
And like I said, he has really responded with 16 saves. Take a look at his numbers, keep coming down last 3 years. And here's an easy guy to cheer for, boy. I'll tell you what, he's through sheer hard work and determination, he's found himself in this position as the starting goalie for the Oilers.
Dallas Eakins had a chat with him at practice on Thursday, and Eakins told us that he actually said to Devin, I'm thinking of making a change. I'm going to go with LaBarbera, and he said he had a lot of fight in his voice. There's an offside coming here, a delayed offside. Waiting for Hemsky to touch it. He won't. He'll back off, and so the Canucks will head up ice. But there was a lot of fight in Dubnyk's voice saying, give me another shot tonight. I'll prove you wrong. I'll prove to my teammates they can depend on me.
And that was the response that Dallas Eakins said he was looking for.
And so Dubnyk makes his 16th save of this first period in a 1-1 hockey game in Vancouver. Gorgeous night in Vancouver as we remind you who will stay and who will go. Find out on the first elimination episode of the Battle of the Blades tomorrow at 8 on CBC. Point shot from Bieksa doesn't get through. He holds on to it, fires it again, this time off the stick of Boyd Gordon. Eberle will get it to center. Jordan Eberle playing on the third line tonight with Boyd Gordon and Jesse Joensuu, the big Finn who made a big impression in his first game as an Oiler on Tuesday night. Scored a goal in that game, was very physical. Here comes Bieksa. Stopped by Schmid as he tried to enter the Oilers zone, and back goes Jannik Hansen. Across for Ryan Stanton, who was claimed off waivers on Monday from Chicago. Hansen takes it away from Yakupov, darts inside the Edmonton zone. His shot is wide. He comes all the way around the boards. Waiting for it is Alex Edler. He'll send it in deep. Hansen in front. Santorelli with a chance, but I think Nick Schultz may have got his stick on it. Hansen again, protecting the puck. Now he loses his edge. 3 Oilers on him. Hansen taking them all on. Santorelli joining the fight as they muck for the puck. It comes back into the corner. Petrie shoots it to the near side. It gets away from Yakupov. It bounces back into the neutral zone. Santorelli touches it offside at the Oiler line.
Jannik Hansen continues his strong play this first period. Nice little pass right here to Santorelli. And just a good play by Nick Schultz to get a stick on that one, so Devan Dubnyk doesn't have to make a save. But Jannik Hansen's flying here today. Nice energy level with playing with the Sedins right now. Mostly, anyways.
Santorelli was a 20-goal scorer a few years ago in Florida playing with David Booth, and they had planned to keep them united on a line here tonight until Burrows couldn't go, and they had to move Booth up. Here's Hemsky on a turnover. Hemsky in front looking for Hall. He bangs at it. It goes high to the near corner. Back up ice. Chris Higgins to center. Chipping and chasing. Hemsky back on the back check. Chops it along the boards for Justin Schultz. But barging in is Kessler. The puck rolling to Higgins. To the side of the goal. And Devan Dubnyk will hold on. Canucks and Oilers tied at 1. Both teams still looking for their first win of this young season. Vancouver losing 4-1 on Thursday in San Jose, their 10th straight loss to the Sharks. And of course, Edmonton dropping a 5-4 home opener to Winnipeg after blowing a 2-goal lead. Ference back along the boards to the near side. Eberle waits for the pass from Justin Schultz. He's checked by Dale Weiss. Weiss goes down. Here's Kessler. Fires high into the chest protector. It's chopped away by Sestito to the far side. Ference again. Lost the puck to Kessler. Back on it. They jam away. Here's a chance off the crossbar as Sestito roofed it from the side of the goal. Ryan Stanton directs it right on again. The 20th shot on goal in the first period for Vancouver. 2 minutes to go here in the opening frame. David Perron carries it inside the line and chips and chases. Jason Garrison is run into the boards by the gritty forward coming to Edmonton in that trade from St. Louis. Garrison along the boards. Hansen loses the puck. Canucks recover. Daniel, his pass off the stick of Jannik Hansen and out of play with 1:36 to go here in the first.
The Edmonton Oilers need to get out of this period. There's 1:36 left, as you said, Mark, and it's giveaways again, and that's what's hurting them right here. Eberle along the boards, and it comes to Kessler. He gets a good chance right here. Dubnyk makes a save, and then Sestito right here. Another giveaway, and he shows pretty good hands right there. There's not much room to go up over the shoulder of Devan Dubnyk, but hits a crossbar.
Hamhuis, a long shot, and he scores! Another long-range goal against Devan Dubnyk. From well out at the blue line. With 1:33 to go here in the first.
Take a look at a rolling puck, and that hits the defenseman's stick. There's no question about it. You know, a rolling puck like that, I know that the players are taught to block all the shots, and, you know, they feel the urgency to do it. Everybody's doing it. But you have to think a shot that far out that Dubnyk's going to make the save. Why make the job harder on the goaltender? Here it is. Oh, clearly it hits Jeff Petrie. Goes up and then down a little bit when it gets to Dubnyk.
Not unlike the Jacob Trouba goal for Winnipeg. Here's another one. Henrik Sedin. His shot is blocked by Schmid. Taylor Hall back in his own end. He turns it over to Henrik. In front, Daniel. Back. Hansen scores! The Canucks tear the roof off here in the final 90 seconds of the first.
I like how Jannik Hansen just plays the role of the trigger man on this play. He knows that the Sedins, on another giveaway by Petrie, they're going to just play catch right here. All Jannik Hansen has to do is now get open. Here's another giveaway right here by Hall. And there's Hansen. Get right in the slot, hit that stick ready, and just unload that one-timer right here. But two giveaways by the Edmonton Oilers again in the last just almost 1 minute to go.
2 goals in 18 seconds. Hamhuis and Hansen for Vancouver. Giveaways and long-range goals is what sunk Edmonton in their home opener. Arcabello back up ice. His shot is blocked. Gets another chance. To the side of the goal. Ference pinching. In close. A quick rapier-like glove save by Luongo on David Perron as they have some friendly banter after the fact.
This is a great save by Roberto Luongo. David Perron didn't take a long time to get this shot off Perron, like I said, one of the few Oilers that's showing a little bit of energy and a little bit of a spunk here. Perron comes right from the corner. You can see there's quite a bit of net there too, but Roberto Luongo read the release properly and is able to make that save. So pretty tough period for Roberto Luongo. That's only the 8th shot that he's faced, and he didn't let in, or he let in a poor goal with Jeff Petrie. So good focus and concentration by Luongo.
Tanev, Hedman pass to Richardson. And we got a fight in behind the play. Will Acton and Ryan Kessler are going at it, and they're still grappling on the ice. And now the linesmen, Scherers and Heyer, will get in there to break it up. And now some more pushing and shoving as Mike Brown and Ryan Stanton are mixing it up. So blood beginning to boil. The Oilers showing frustration, allowing 2 quick goals inside of 18 seconds here late in the first period to drop into a 3-1 deficit to the Canucks.
So this should wake the Oilers up. There's nothing better to get your adrenaline going and remind you that the game started at 7 o'clock and not 8 o'clock local time. I mean, this has been a poor period by the Edmonton Oilers. So you've got to do something to get the juices flowing, get you back into this game emotionally. Not surprised Mike Johnson or Mike Brown's in there. Let's take a look how this starts with Kessler and Acton right off the face-off. There you go.
Both missing with some haymakers early, then they get down on the ice.
Neither known for being a fighter. Just I think that Acton knowing that, you know, he's got a role. He's a 4th line guy on this team and find a way to spark it. Why not go after one of the better Vancouver Canucks and Kessler? See the exchange between Luongo and Perron after that great glove save. There's Perron. He's known for going at goaltenders, in my opinion, in a good way. You know, he's a bit of an agitator that way. Let it be known that Luongo, he's going to be in his face the entire night, the entire season. We saw that last year, Mark, in the playoffs versus LA and Jonathan Quick. He was quick to go to the front of the net.
Well, that's what the Oilers need. They need some guys that are willing to get their noses dirty and get in there and get gritty. Look at the chirping and the grousing going on right now between the benches as the Canucks are reveling in their 3-1 lead. And Luke Gazdic, the slugger for Edmonton, is out front leading the talk. John Tortorella wanting to see more pace in his team, more grit, and Dallas Eakins vowing his team wouldn't be pushed around anymore in this building, and they've had a weak first period here.
Well, I'm not sure if the two coaches are looking at each other right now. We saw a little bit of that earlier in the week with Patrick Roy and Bruce Boudreau. I think it'd be pretty difficult sometimes when you're coaching these teams to try and stay out of it.
So Kessler and Acton get 5 minutes each for fighting as the Oilers clear it down the ice. Jason Garrison leaves it for Henrik Sedin, smartly ahead to Edler. Waiting for it at the line is Daniel Sedin. He couldn't get his stick on it. Edler quickly there on the puck. Schmid pressed along the boards by Edler. Hansen gets it free to Hendrick. Back to Hansen. Back pass to Garrison, who takes it on his backhand. Jason Garrison to the circle. More pressure here for Vancouver. Henrik Sedin's pass broken up. Boyd Gordon will get it down the ice. And that'll do it here in a one-sided first period for the home team. The Canucks out shooting Edmonton 22-8. And 2 quick goals inside of 18 seconds by Hamhuis and Hansen led to this exchange as John Tortorella got worked up and was finger pointing and throwing some invective at the Oiler coaching staff.
Wow, now that's passion right there, isn't it?
But Keith Acton returning the hairy eyeball in an interesting first period. 3-1 Vancouver. Now to Studio 42 in Ron and Don. Canucks and Oilers back on the ice to start this second period, and the penalty box is full. There were a total of 6 penalties called near the end of that first period, so the Canucks have a 5-on-4 power play with Edmonton taking the extra minor. Will Acton has 5 for fighting and 2 for roughing. Brown, 2 for roughing and a 10-minute misconduct. Kessler got 5 for fighting, and Ryan Stanton got 2 for roughing. So you add it all up, and Vancouver, with momentum and a 2-goal lead, is on the power play. Edler into the corner. Long pass gets by Jason Garrison from Daniel Sedin, and he's got to back up into his own zone.
Vancouver had great puck movement in the first period on their power play as well.
22-8, they outshot Edmonton in that first period. And the scoring chances were equally as glaring, 13-2 Vancouver. Daniel's shot bouncing off the pad of Dubnyk, who stays in this hockey game in goal for Edmonton. Edler along the boards, tipped to Hansen. Henrik back to Garrison, a one-timer, the puck is loose. Hansen feeds it behind the net, takes the return pass from Daniel Sedin and fans on it. And the Oilers will relieve a little pressure, 25 seconds to go in the Vancouver power play.
Hansen sure fits in well with the Sedins, doesn't he, Mark? Wow, great puck support. Great to see.
Pass on the right wing, Mike Santorelli charging, fires, Dubnyk makes the save, then holds on to the rebound. Downstairs, and here's Scott.
Okay, Mark, Edmonton assistant Steve Smith says momentum started switching in the first period on bad penalties by the Oilers. There's good penalties, there's bad penalties. The ones the Oilers took for the most part were bad. The other thing Edmonton players were told between periods was to be more physical on their own end. Smith says the Oilers are letting the Canucks off the hook. As for the coach's exchange at the end of the first, he pleaded the fifth, says he was talking to the defenseman and didn't hear anything.
The cone of silence there, the glass.
That's a KG veteran right there.
Penalty to Yakupov is over. He was serving the extra minor. 2 shots on goal. BX's shot deflects just wide. Here's Hamhuis towards the net. He just misses. It comes all the way back. Bieksa towards the net. Loose puck in the high slot. Booth looking for it. Banging away. Higgins takes a shot and just misses. Booth again. Takes a hit from Justin Schultz. It's scooped up by Ferentz. He'll play it along the boards. Yakupov plays the man. Leaves the puck right for Bieksa. A bouncing shot into the corner. Higgins is there. Santorelli pokes it free. Hall on the puck. Hamhuis pinching. He's caught up ice as Schultz tries to jump the rush. He can't find the puck and just misses a hit from Chris Higgins. Back the other way. Bieksa at center. Flipping it high on goal. Dubnyk will glove it and hold on for another faceoff. Are you surprised he's back in goal?
No, I'm not. I think you've got to give him a chance to fight through this with his teammates. Boyd Gordon's struggling on the bench a little bit. Here's why. Blocks his shot. See, he did a great job versus Winnipeg in that first game as an Edmonton Oiler. And then Higgins is going to have a chance right here. Just puts it wide.
Canucks are really beating the Oilers with their puck movement in the Oilers zone.
Oilers have no forecheck right now. And Vancouver, to their credit, great puck movement.
There's another shot that Dubnyk couldn't trap immediately and had to quickly cover.
Well, he's under siege here. 24 shots already. And we're only 22 minutes into the game. So that's a pretty easy one that he handled right there. But these guys are in survival mode right now. They've just all got to fight through as a team and find a way to do it together, because Vancouver is obviously not going to let them off the mat right now. Vancouver, to their credit again, they've come out ready to start the second period.
Arcobello gets the draw, then gets a weird bounce and gloves it to center. Belov is stopped by Sestito as Luongo steadies the puck behind his goal. Tanev, a rink-wide pass up the left side. The tough guy, Sestito, on the ice now for Vancouver. Dale Weiss along the boards, jamming away with some help from Richardson. Tanev pinching. Arcobello has to go the other way, and here comes Edler to cut it off at the pass. Brad Richardson with a short-handed marker passes it right through the slot. It comes to Chris Tanev. Tanev's shot is blocked by Eberle. He's racing for it, but out to make the play is Luongo. Edler has it get away from him. It goes right to Taylor Hall. His pass is right on the tape of Sestito, and another Oiler giveaway. He'll get it deep and head for a change. Henrik Sedin leaving it for Daniel. Daniel's shot from a sharp angle, stopped by Dubnyk. Henrik again. This time it comes right to Ryan Smith, playing his 1200th NHL hockey game tonight.
What a career.
Almost 20 goal seasons, and at 37 getting a chance to open the season on the first line. Here comes Henrik Sedin. He's got Hansen going hard to the net. but a good stick check from Jeff Petrie to break it up. Hall back in his own zone, throws it rink wide to the left wing, and Ryan Smith will softly chip it inside the zone. Luongo gets it to the corner. Smith overskates it. Henrik Sedin trying to haul it out. It comes to Hansen. He'll play it across to Hamhuis. To center it comes. Henrik takes a big hit at center, but the Canucks get it back in the zone. They'll get a quick change as Boyd Gordon comes to center. He'll gain the center red line and chip it in the zone. Stanton is there, lined up by Gazdic. Luke Gazdic fighting for the puck with Joensuu. It comes free to Richardson, and he'll skate it to the line. Across to Tanev. Booth pounces on it. A pass in front. Broken up on the play by Justin Schultz. He headmans it to Gazdic, rink wide for Joensuu, the big Finn, who had that great first game, but he's nursing a sore back here tonight. And they called up Ryan Hamilton from the minors just in case he couldn't go.
Yeah.
Parents back in his own zone. Turns it over to Booth. Booth in front for Dalpe. He can't make a play with it. And Perron comes up ice with Arcobello. David Perron leaves it for the center. Perron to the net. Fires a hard shot. Blocker save. Arcobello can't get the good wood on the rebound. And Perron trying to control the puck. He loses it. Jason Garrison comes out the other side of the net. Ahead to Weber, the defenseman playing up front tonight. Yannick Weber's shot misses the net. It bounces to the near boards. Edler in deep again. It comes around to the far corner. Weber pushing Nick Schultz off the puck. Garrison fires it off the blocker of Dubnyk. Higgins now holding the puck. Vancouver trying to control it again inside the Oilers zone. Bieksa kicks it ahead. At the circle, Weber's shot doesn't get through, and finally Eberle, turning in his own end away from Weber, will regroup. Nick Schultz back to Eberle. Rink wide to Belloff. He'll throw it off the boards to the Vancouver line. And Perron was stopped at the line. Nearly too many men on the ice for Edmonton as Eberle just gets inside the gate. Here comes Chris Higgins. Higgins setting up, fires a shot right on. Vancouver throwing every opportunity. A shot on goal at Dubnyk. That's 26 shots now. Henrik back to the point. Hamhuis in front and is tipped off Belloff's stick just wide. Edmonton running around in its own end, trying to find the puck. Now they corral it. It's Taylor Hall up ice with Yakupov, but a stick in the lane from Hamhuis breaks it up. It goes off Hansen's skate right on goal. Nick Schultz throws the puck away. It goes through the skates of Weiss right to Hall. A 2-on-1 with Yakupov. Hall holds the puck, cuts to the slot. Can't get the shot away. Caught by Weiss in the back check, and then he's run hard into the boards. Remember, Dale Weiss took the headshot in the preseason at Hall, but a penalty is coming here to Taylor Hall after the fact. Hall running Weiss into the boards. He's going directly to the penalty box. And the Vancouver tough guy looks shaken up, but all right after taking this shot launched into the boards by Hall. He's going to the penalty box. Boarding penalty after perhaps taking a license plate number down.
Well, Taylor Hall gets a chance here, and Dale Weiss with a great back check right there. Now, Taylor Hall finishes him off a little bit harder than the referees like. Now, is that because of this incident in preseason, September 21st? Will you be the judge? I don't think it was. Even though he saw the number that it was Dale Weiss, I don't think that that was hard enough to conclude that that was a retaliatory play.
Weiss got a 3-game suspension in the preseason for that headshot. Canucks on the power play. A deflection by Daniel in front. It's kept in by Jason Garrison. Vancouver 0 for 3 on the power play tonight. Boyd Gordon fencing for the puck. It's sent the other way by Daniel Sedin to Henrik. Back to Daniel at the side of the goal. He's got the loose puck back to his brother. The captain Henrik saucers it back to the blue line. Edler to the circle towards the net. It's blocked by Schmid. Kessler pounces on it for the Canucks. Feathers it back to the line. Edler rink wide. Garrison tipping it to the boards. Henrik down low for Daniel. Back to Henrik. Swiftly to Garrison. His shot through traffic and it squirts wide on the deflection. Henrik again. Leaves it for Daniel. Daniel to the left side at the circle. Edler. Henrik. Daniel scores! Oh, what a thing of beauty! Canucks score on the power play to open a 3-goal lead here in the second.
Well, just great puck movement by the Vancouver Canucks. Absolutely no panic whatsoever. when they have the puck, they just seem as though they know where everybody's going to go. One thing Devan Dubnyk told me this morning is when you're playing against them, you have to hold your feet a little bit longer. There he loses his balance right here, thinking that Henrik is going to go on the short side. Now let's take a look at the net cam presented by LASIK MD. Right there you can see Devan Dubnyk all over the place, just trying to find a way to make a save on that play. But I'll tell you, Vancouver's power play has been just excellent.
Well, they've controlled the puck 5-on-5. Their scoring chances were 10-2, 5-on-5. And then they get the power play and make good. Daniel Sedin from Henrik and Alex Edler at 7:21 for the 4-1 lead. Here's Kessler. Can't get the wrist shot through Arcobello. The X plays it along the boards. It's knocked down by Arcobello right to Kessler. He plays it back. Hamhuis fires through traffic, blocked by Jason Schultz. He headmans it to Eberle. Jordan Eberle dishing it along the boards. The young defender in. Justin Schultz in front. Tied up was Eberle. Now he's back on the puck. Tries to center it. It comes back to Yakupov, who hacks at it, and it goes off a body wide. Justin Schultz. Jordan Eberle back to Schultz. Along the boards to Taylor Hall. Interesting alignment now if Hall, Yakupov, and Eberle are out there together. Yakupov sidesteps the hit from Bieksa, but turns it over to Kessler, and Santorelli will get it to center. His pass goes off the stick of Jordan Eberle. Back to the neutral zone. Yakupov knocks it down. It goes right to Kessler. He gets it deep again. Shots are 29-9 now in favor of Vancouver. Hall reaching for the puck. Headmans it over the stick of Yakupov. Edler back. Rink wide pass. Tanev can't find it. Here's Hemsky pouncing on the forecheck. Along the boards, Yakupov digs it free for Edmonton. Finds Belov at the point. Belov, a shot through traffic. It squirts through. Luongo can't find it. It is tied up in the equipment of Alex Edler.
Let's take a look at the goal again and just how well the Sedins work together, and they have for years, of course, but just have an understanding where each other's going to be. I mean, that's just a miracle pass by Henrik, knowing that Daniel's going to be there. This is how well they complement each other. Take a look at the numbers. In this case, numbers don't lie. That's a great duo right there. And on the power play, when Kessler's with them or whether it's on a regular shift with Hansen, they're just magical tonight.
Daniel has his first goal of the season. Henrik with 3 assists tonight, 4 so far on the season. Perron boxed along the boards. Schmid is pinching and dishes a little chin music to Hansen. Schmid again is caught up ice. Perron covering him in the neutral zone. Chopped by Ryan Smith right to Daniel Sedin, and he headmans it to Hansen. Hansen throws it to an open corner. Jeff Petrie is there first for Edmonton. Quickly ahead, Arcobello into the skates of Ryan Smith. Smith can't find it. Now he turns and fires a harmless shot wide of Luongo. Along the boards, Arcobello, that crafty AHL centerman, is crushed out of the play by Tanev, and they muck for it in the neutral zone. Perron caught on the check, and there's a penalty coming here. A hooking call to Vancouver. And Jannik Hansen is being escorted to the penalty box.
David Perron's pretty crafty. Coming across the line right here, and Hansen just gets a stick in there. And well, I think Perron embellishes just a little bit, but nonetheless, Hansen still definitely gets a stick in there. And so the Oilers go on the power play. They've got to find a little bit of energy here and start competing for loose pucks. That's really one of the reasons why they're down 4-1 and being outshot 29-9.
In the corner, Smith chips it to Taylor Hall. Hall is boxed in by Higgins. It's chipped back to the point. Yakupov, rink wide for Schultz. Justin Schultz towards the net, shoots a high wrist shot off the blocker of Luongo. And it's cleared back down the ice. Edmonton is 0 for 1 on the power play tonight. They had 2 power play goals in the season opener. Boyd Gordon and Jesse Joensuu scoring for Edmonton with the man advantage in that 5-4 loss to Winnipeg. Schultz dropping it. Hemsky across for Hall. Hall throwing it around the boards. Hemsky pressing along with Yakupov behind the net. Hall to the point. Justin Schultz leaves it for Yakupov. The Oilers now moving the puck a lot better, but it's broken up. It comes right to Yakupov down low. Pass at the side of the goal by Ryan Smith. He jammed and fumbled at it, and now they push and shove after the whistle again as Luongo scoops it up.
Roberto Luongo with great anticipation right here. You know, one of the things about being a top goaltender like Luongo, you have to read the play. That's what he does on this one right here. The Oilers are going to get it down low to Ryan Smith, and he recognized there's an open Oiler right there, but Luongo takes away that passing lane. That's pretty good hockey right there. Take a look at his numbers last year, especially his .907 save percentage. That was his lowest number since his rookie season, so you can tell that last year was an anomaly for him, and he still is a top elite goaltender in the league.
Belava shot, the rebound quickly covered up by Luongo as he took that high in the chest and grabbed it before Eberle could make anything of it.
Sure, you'd like a little more work. Now maybe going to get a little bit here on the power play, but
Kelly, he was saying, you know, he's motivated by winning, but he's really motivated at trying to reestablish himself as a top goalie in this league, having to settle as the backup last year to Corey Schneider, then going through all that trade drama that never happened as they traded Schneider to New Jersey and had to get back and work to get Luongo, his head and his game back together here in Vancouver. Belov's shot is tipped high and out of play with 42 seconds to go in the penalty to Hansen.
you know, he's so strong mentally, Roberto Luongo, and I'm in awe every time I watch him at the morning skate. You know, he puts in, I asked him, what's an ideal amount of time? He said about 20-25 minutes. Rolly Melanson, the goalie coach, is saying, sometimes you got to basically throw him off the ice because he just wants to work at his game so much. Loves a rebound drill at the end of practice to get him focused and so on. And he's just a guy that, for whatever reason, he likes the morning skates, and he tried not to go on the morning skate a couple times and just hated it. So it's a good formula that works for him.
The plan is for Luongo to play 65 games this year. He's done that once in the last 5 seasons. Arcobello smothered by Edler, but he gets it back to Perron. Belov to the circle with it. Eberle now turns, goes towards the net as he leaves it for Arcobello, takes the return pass, keeps the cycle going, off the skate of Garrison to Arcobello. He chops it back to the blue line. Perron gets it back in deep. 10 seconds to go in the Edmonton power play as Higgins loses an edge. It's scooped up by Arcobello. Arcobello's pass goes off the stick of Garrison to the far side. Boyd Gordon leaves it down for Eberle. Across to Arcobello. The penalty is over to Hansen. 2 shots on goal during the Oilers power play as Vancouver gets back to full strength. Belov, a bouncing puck. He steadies it, holds onto it, throws it towards the net, and it's tipped out of play by Jordan Eberle. We'll take a break. It's all Vancouver. 4-1 lead here in the second period.
Time for our Subway Restaurants bio. When people think of John Tortorella, they think of his combative relationship with the media and how he's trying to change things in Vancouver. That ongoing saga overshadows how he's paid his dues. This is what he looked like for the better part of 3 years, playing for the University of Maine from 78 to 81. After that, played a year in Sweden, then 4 years in the minors in places like Erie, Hampton, Virginia, Nashville. He's won a Stanley Cup as a coach, and more than anything, this Vancouver job is about winning another one, but it's also about an image makeover. Mark.
Yes, from all accounts, he was a gritty, hard-nosed forward in the minors.
Would you expect anything less with that personality?
And Kelly, he was... Here's a shot in front, another chance by Weiss, and he was getting ugly this morning, too, with the media. Only game 2 of the season. Get a little upset about the question about Burrows getting hurt blocking a shot. Of course, Jordan Schrader's already out with a foot fracture for blocking a shot, and he made it perfectly clear that if Burrow's not done that, he'd never be on the penalty kill again.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to change his coaching philosophy just because of a couple of injuries.
Gazdic trying to scoop the puck up. He's checked at center ice by Tanev. Eberle ahead. Arcobello in. What a save by Luongo! Point blank.
Really one of the only good chances the Oilers have had, even though they have one on the board from Petrie, but wonderful pass from Jordan Eberle to spot Arcobello. He's trying to get the puck to settle down right here, and he gets an awfully good shot off right there that gave Roberto Luongo a lot of problems right there, but is able to find it in his equipment.
Arcobello centered Hall and Eberle in Oklahoma City during the lockout, and that was a prolific combination. And Arcobello ended up leading the Barons in scoring last season with 68 points and getting a chance to play center with the injuries at center to Sam Gagner coming back from jaw surgery, and of course Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, who we now learn will be back Monday at home against New Jersey as he recovers from nearly 6 months after shoulder surgery. Here come the Sedins again. Henrik cutting in and fires a high shot into the chest protector of Dubnyk. Now Hansen mocking it up with David Perron. He gave Perron a shot to the face, and then they danced again. So Hansen showing some grit here tonight once again.
So the Sedins get another chance. No surprise with that right here. Henrik just backtracks right there, gets a shot, and Devan Dubnyk makes a pretty easy save here. Daniel Sedin earlier, though, was talking to assistant coach Mike Sullivan, and new coaches with the players. A little bit of stuff to learn, and Glenn Gulletson over the left shoulder of Mike Sullivan right there. So even the veteran players are trying to find a way with new coaches, including John Tortorella. Tortorella was telling us this morning that they're all trying to figure each other out right about now.
Hansen and Perron. Perron using a wrestling move, shooting for the leg there on Hansen. And they'll both be off for roughing at 13:29.
Perron's had quite an edge tonight.
Here's Hall, takes the puck from a prone Garrison in front for Yakupov, and he was tied up on the play. A good back check by Higgins. Gets away from Hall along the boards. Garrison up the left wing. Higgins ahead, Kessler to center for Vancouver. Kessler, a long shot that misses. Schultz turns it over, right back to Kessler. Wrist shot, scores! Another long shot goal against Dubnyk.
This one, to me, Mark, does not look deflected. Doesn't look like there's traffic yet. He's putting in Jason LaBarbera. So we're going to see here another, like you said, Mark, a long shot right here. Again, it's all about puck retrieval, though. The Edmonton Oilers not doing anything there. That's just too easy. You know, Kessler getting that. Totally. Another giveaway. Losing all the battles, even though there wasn't really one there. Just went to Kessler and nobody fought. And Devan Dubnyk pays the price right here on this one. So I suspect Jason LaBarbera was waiting for this, in the sense that, you know, when your partner's given up 4 halfway through the game, that you might get in there. So I'm sure he's been thinking about his first opportunity to play as an Edmonton Oiler.
Jason LaBarbera got a chance to play 15 games with Phoenix last year when Mike Smith got injured. Dubnyk goes to the bench, and his coach is right there giving him some support.
Absolutely. Well, 31 shots he's faced, and now you could say maybe 2 of the goals from long range. But when you're under siege like that, you are going to give up goals.
That's a smart move by the head coach.
Absolutely.
When you consider this could be really tough mentally on a goalie like Dubnyk, who's in the final year of his contract, Kelly. He's 27, clearly at the crossroads of his career. And here come the Canucks again.
And you're trying to impress a new coach. Every player has that feeling that when a new coach comes in, you want to do so much and get in his good books right away. And sometimes you just force it and it doesn't happen.
He admitted he was too excited for the season opener against Winnipeg. And vowed to come back tonight, but it just isn't to be. As Petrie circles inside the Vancouver zone. Kessler unassisted at 13:56. 5-1 Vancouver as Luongo makes it look routine. We'll take a break here at Rogers Arena in Vancouver as Kessler savors his goal and a 4-goal lead. It's been an outstanding night for Ryan Kessler, who now lacks only an assist for the Gordie Howe hat trick.
First 35 minutes have been brilliant. This is a Ryan Kessler that we saw a couple of years ago, throwing his body around, great playmaking, going to the front of the net, battling hard, fighting, which I guess we don't see often from Ryan Kessler, but that laser wrist shot as well. Hopefully he's healthy and good to go for the rest of the season for the Canucks.
Oilers now have given up 10 goals against in less than 2 games. There's Santorelli, and he tests Jason LaBarbera, who makes his first save in relief. A brave new season of Rick Mercer Report begins Watch the premiere Tuesday night at 8 o'clock on CBC television. A festive move here in Rogers Arena. The home team up 5-1, out shooting Edmonton 32-13, dominating every inch of ice. Bieksa to Hamhuis. Dan Hamhuis backhanding into the corner. Santorelli has it pop off his stick. Back on it now. Keeps the cycle going with David Booth. Booth comes off the boards. Goes wide around Justin Schultz. Holding the puck. His shot deflects off Hemsky into the glass. Santorelli back to Booth. Down low to Santorelli. He walks in front. Can't get the backhand away. Bieksa was looking for a goal. And Hemsky up ice with Justin Schultz, who jumps into the rush. Hemsky right back to Gordon. He scores! Boyd Gordon scores his second goal in as many games for the Edmonton Oilers, and it's 5-2.
This all starts in the Oilers zone right in front where there's a loose puck. Santorelli goes to the front of net. And then Bieksa thinks he's going to have a chance to get in there, get that loose puck. And then Ales Hemsky, just nice patience right here. Recognizes that Gordon's just coming in late. An excellent play by Gordon just to wait for Luongo to go down, find his opening right here. And then just puts that in the net behind Luongo. But that's one of the problems when you're just outplaying a team so badly, outshooting them 32 at that point, 13, now 14, that you take a risk that maybe you don't need to take, and that's Kevin Bieksa.
Boyd Gordon was signed as a free agent out of Phoenix. 2 consecutive years there. He was their best face-off man and best penalty killer, and was brought in a defensive role to take Eric Bélanger's spot, but he's been offensive with 2 goals so far, and Edmonton now finding its stride. Petrie's shot is blocked by Jason Garrison, and he'll come to center with the puck. Chipping it on goal, steered aside by LaBarbera. Weiss tied up by Ference. Petrie in banging as well. Richardson trying to hold the puck along the boards. Now Eberle tries to dig it free. Back and forth. Spade work. Scrum along the boards. It comes free to Perron. Quickly outlets to Taylor Hall. Back to Perron. Petrie joins the rush. Hall wants the puck. Reaching for it. It bounces off his stick. He plays it back to Eberle. Eberle holding on to it, away from Sestito. Perron goes down as he's checked by Tanev. Chris Tanev racing up the left side to center. He'll chip it in the zone and head for a change. Schultz outlets to Hemsky. Hemsky full blast, but he goes off the stick and out of play, and a big hit is Sestito. And Schmid get their gloves up. And Justin Schultz was plowed into the corner boards by the Canuck enforcer. So he's going to the box.
Well, I think it's Justin Schultz right here. Sestito comes in, hits him shoulder to shoulder, but he is a big man, Sestito, and there's a lot of force coming at him right here, and Schmid comes in to let him know that the Oilers won't put up with that.
So roughing minor to Sestito, and Schultz looks no worse for wear. And Sestito is having words with Schmid.
He's been pretty vocal tonight, hasn't he, Sestito? First period we saw him on the bench talking to the Edmonton Oilers, and now going at it with Schmid.
So a pair of roughing penalties to Schmid and Sestito as they beak at each other in the penalty box. In 4-on-4 hockey now. 3.5 to go here in the second period. And Edler hauls it to center. Petrie turns and chases it. Daniel Sedin on the forecheck. Ference takes the pass from Petrie to Hall, back to Ference as the Canucks back off to mid-ice. The Oiler captain will race inside the Vancouver zone, chipping and chasing himself. A shot on Edler. In comes Perron, takes the puck away from Garrison. David Perron, a bounce pass to Ference. Ference towards the net, it gets through. Luongo diving on the loose puck for a whistle.
A little bit of traffic on this one right here from Ference. See, there's a couple layers of traffic in front. Luongo trying to find his find a beat on that one right there. Although it's not a hard shot, it's a difficult thing when you're trying to see through the player's legs. That went right through Alex Edler's legs.
15th shot on goal for Edmonton tonight. 32 for Vancouver so far. Ed Kessler chips it in. Belov, shoulder check. Kessler hard of the forecheck, takes it from Justin Schultz, still on the puck to the near side. Kessler holding on to the puck. Schultz can't do anything about it. Kessler the other way, along the boards. Leaving it now for Bieksa. Bieksa attacking the net in front, down low, and LaBarbera gets the paddle down to make the save for Edmonton.
I'll give an example, Mark, why this game is 5-2 for Vancouver. This was far too easy for Vancouver. They dumped the puck in. Higgins went after it. Then it's all Kessler after that. He just strips Justin Schultz of the puck. And then Vancouver, they just want the puck more than Edmonton right now. And then the ever-aggressive Kevin Bieksa leaves his point spot, attacks the net. They get a good scoring chance right there. And that's just... right there, that's just wanting the puck or not wanting it.
Oilers are doing a lot of standing around in their own zone. Everly away from Booth towards the net. A low shot. That's the rebound, and it pops over top with Luongo prone and Hall in front. Nick Schultz for Eberle. Down low. Hall back in front. It gets over Petrie's stick, and Edmonton will have to come back outside the line. Nick Schultz backing up in his own zone. Petrie returns the pass. Now Nick Schultz back to Jeff Petrie, swinging at the puck. And it's sent back outside the line by Hansen. Perron to Yakupov. Out of the box is Schmid with Sestito. Perron overskates the puck. Sestito gets it off the boards and out. At center, Schmid sends it right back to the line. It's knocked down. Sestito bringing it in the zone, still on it, fires. It's a big rebound. Hansen's there, and Booth. And LaBarbera looking for the puck, but it didn't get past him. Bieksa down low again. Final minute here of the second period. Schmid around the board. Santorelli cuts it off. Henrik Sedin back and forth. Schmid trying to pin him along the boards and comes free. Perron takes the pass from Yakupov, trying to hold on to it. And now he goes on the check from Santorelli. Here come the Canucks again. Daniel holds it, tips it in front. Jamming is Santorelli. Can't get a clean shot. Bieksa towards the net. It's tipped behind the net. Santorelli around the board. Henrik Sedin along the boards, holding on to it. Smith comes in to break it up as Daniel goes down. David Perron trying to get it past Hamhuis and can't. Vancouver with possession again. Daniel Sedin with 15 seconds to go in the period. It bounces behind the net to Santorelli. A delayed penalty coming to Edmonton as Perron touches the puck. And a holding penalty is being assessed to David Perron with 7 seconds to go here in the second period.
Oilers are dog-tired right now, and that's why David Perron, in this case, had no choice, he felt, but to hold the stick of Daniel Sedin right there. Eberle had a really good chance just a minute or two before that, right in front. Then Jannik Hansen comes in and lays the body on him. Good, clean, but heavy hit right there. And Tom Sestito had a pretty good chance right here. His second good chance of the game, first period, you'll remember he hit the crossbar. So Tom Sestito showing some pretty good hands.
Holding the stick penalty assessed to Perron as the waning seconds tick off the clock here in the second period. So Vancouver will start the third on the power play, outshooting Edmonton 34-15. Daniel Sedin and Kessler for Vancouver in the second. Boyd Gordon answering for Edmonton.
5-2 Canucks to start the third period. The Oilers return home tonight to face New Jersey on Monday night. And they'll welcome Ryan Nugent-Hopkins back from shoulder surgery. Really welcome him back, I guess, with the way this game has gone tonight. Ryan, this will be about 2 weeks earlier than you were forecast to come back. How long have you felt ready?
Definitely the past few weeks. It's been good to get some contact, and I've been communicating with the doctors and the training staff over the last month or so, and it's feeling really good right now, and I'm definitely excited to get back.
You've had contact with your teammates in practice for as hard as your teammates are willing to hit you, but what did that contact tell you?
Yeah, it's feeling really good for that. I mean, it's obviously a lot different when you go out against a different team and they don't hold back at all. So, I mean, it'll be a good test, but it's feeling strong, and I definitely feel like I'm ready to go.
Ryan, a comment on tonight's game. We were talking earlier about how deflated the Oilers got after they were scored on last year. Are you seeing that tonight?
I mean, a little bit. I think the guys could get a little bit frustrated at times, and I mean, we can't do that. I mean, if we get down by a goal or two, we just got to keep the pressure up and not let it affect us too much.
Tough game to watch, I know. I can imagine how badly you want to be out there trying to make a difference. Thanks for your time.
All right, thanks a lot.
To Mark Lee and Kelly Rudy for the third.
Thank you, Scott. The Canucks starting this third period on the power play with David Perron in the box for holding the stick. And you have to wonder, with Taylor Hall struggling in 2 games now as a centerman, he's -4 tonight, whether he'll go back to the wing on Monday night against the Devils when Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is scheduled to return.
And -5 in these 2 games, Mark. So it wouldn't surprise me really if Taylor Hall goes back on the wing when Nugent-Hopkins comes back. You know, today is not a good day for Taylor Hall. I thought that at points during the preseason he was making progress as a center. I like the experiment, but clearly there's something amiss right now, and you know they're going to need wins desperately, and that starts Monday versus New Jersey, as Scott said, and best way to do that is put people in familiar positions.
Canucks are 1 for 4 on the power play tonight. Daniel Sedin scoring in the second period. Here's Edler across the line, reaching his Kessler. He fires it right on goal. LaBarbera making the save. Joining this game in the second period after Devin Dubnyk was pulled, allowing 5 goals on 31 shots. Daniel Sedin with Kessler in the near corner to the blue line. Edler through traffic, a high wrist shot into the glass. 30 seconds now in the Canuck power play. Edler again, dropping it. A blast by Garrison is blocked up high. Gordon rushing to the puck. It comes free along the boards. Henrik Sedin to his brother Daniel at the side of the goal. Daniel patiently back to Henrik in front for Kessler. He's taken down, can't get the shot. Daniel again along the board, turning away from Hall, leaving it for Kessler. Canucks toying with the puck. Now they lose it. And Gordon firing it to the line is knocked down by Garrison. The penalty to Perron is over. 2 shots on goal for the Canuck power play. Gordon will flip it back down the ice, and a tired penalty kill unit heads to the Oiler bench. Kevin Bieksa leaves it up ice for Hansen. He chips it to center. Perron backhanding to Arcabello. Back to Perron. Perron in off the side of the goal with a shot, and Luongo will cover it up with his catching hand.
Ryan Kessler, we keep saying, has had a terrific game right here. It's a shot right here, and this is just way too easy, where he just goes in and easily gets the puck back once more. And that's why Vancouver's nursing a 5-2 lead here. Now they're trying to get a little bit too fancy. Maybe Boyd Gordon makes a great play on Kessler, but at some point, Henrik should have maybe shot that one.
Canucks hoping Kessler can stay healthy this year. 8 shots he's had so far tonight as LaBarbera throws it back to center. Played only 17 games last year, missed 31 to injury. And a couple tough seasons for him. Eberle caught up in the check by Santorelli. Now he regains control and drops it back to Anton Belov. Ahead to Yakupov. Yakupov pass off the boards. Eberle has to wait for it, flips it ahead to Justin Schultz. Schultz shoots off the goalpost as he jumped the rush, showing his offensive flash. Weiss will drift it back down the ice. What a great chance there for Justin Schultz. Belov ahead to Will Acton. He's checked by Dalpe. Gazdic sends it back in. Grinders on the ice. Sestito throws it behind the net. LaBarbera waiting. Yannick Weber on the forecheck. Smartly out is Will Acton. His fourth liners can't get it deep enough though as Sestito gets it to the line. Weber lined up by Brown. And the play is whistled down at the line as they push in Chavez. Sestito and Gazdic are going to go. So the two sluggers finally drop the gloves, and Gazdic gets a couple of shots. Then his helmet is popped off by a right by Sestito. Gazdic takes another shot, getting some more in on the bigger Vancouver Canuck. Gazdic up and down. They both go to their knees, and the linesman will break it up.
Gazdic did the same Tuesday versus Winnipeg, going after Thornburn. You know, you got to make your presence felt. That's why the Texas Stars felt that they're really going to miss him. You know, Willie Desjardins is saying that Gazdic can be a player too. Now here's a good scoring chance by the Oilers. Justin Schultz, Eberle with a great pass. Just crossbar, just over the glove of Roberto Luongo. You know, Eberle had a good chance right at the start of the period too. Similar shot to what Justin Schultz took right there. It was a short-handed attempt, so Eberle showing off his skills in this third period.
Sorry, Kelly. Justin Schultz led all rookie defensemen in scoring last year with 27 points, but he also was a -17, the worst in the Oilers, and there's the compromise as he still learns the defensive game. Here's Kessler with a wicked wrist shot. Goes around the glass. 5 each for fighting to Gazdic and Vestito as they cool off in the penalty box. Justin Schultz headmans to Hall. On to Yakupov. Nail Yakupov going wide. His shot high and stopped by Luongo. No rebound. Downstairs, and here's Scott.
Okay, Mark, just to make things a little bit tougher for the Oilers in the third. Yes, Joensuu didn't come out to start the third period, and he will not return. I think you'd mentioned earlier that Ryan Hamilton had been called out from Oklahoma City in the event that Joensuu couldn't go tonight. They were a bit concerned about him, so whatever the ailment was, appears to have flared up, and he's not coming back tonight.
Noticed he had, Scott, only 1:46 of ice time in the second period. We saw him this morning working hard in the hallway trying to stretch that back, but it's done him in tonight, and it's a big loss and a big hole for the Oilers. He was one of their better players on opening night,
if not their best player.
Arcobello on the back check takes it from Booth. Schultz, Justin Schultz, rink wide for Ryan Smith. He fires it in the Canuck zone. Arcobello hard on the forecheck. Here comes Smith. It gets past him, and the Canucks are back up ice. Bieksa across the line. Drops it for Kessler. Kessler, a snapshot in traffic. It hits Nick Schultz in front. Arcobello will go rink wide to Nick Schultz. Justin backing up as the Oilers change their forward line. Perron is out there now with Yakupov and Hall. So some juggling going on with Joensuu out of the lineup. Perron turned aside by Ryan Stanton. He's lined up by Yakupov as LaBarbera makes the stop of that long shot. Canucks changing as the Oilers come to center. Hall takes the bounce back pass from Yakupov. Fires it and chases himself. Edler off the glass and out for Vancouver. Schmid to Belov. Rushing ahead to Perron. Stick check by Brad Richardson. Edmonton back in its own zone again. Now ahead to Perron. The pass from Hall. Perron's pass to Hemsky broken up. Brad Richardson back in the Edmonton zone. Belov is there. Can't make a play as he tries to one-hand the puck. And David Perron will chip it. A soft puck into the zone. Boyd Gordon chasing down Sandarelli. Sandarelli wards him off. Makes the pass up the right boards to Weiss. Punches it outside the zone and carries it into the Oiler end. He'll chip and head for a change. Andrew Ference now leading the Oiler rush. Boyd Gordon looking for Eberle. He was onside, but the puck was knocked down. And back into the Edmonton zone. Petrie away from Yannick Weber on the forecheck. The 7th defender playing tonight at forward for Vancouver. Petrie backpedaling in his own zone to the left side. Ference up the board. Hall waiting for it at center. Ahead to Will Atkin. He's cut off by Hamhuis, and then he's hammered along the boards by Mike Brown. Edmonton back in its own zone again. Schultz retreating. Canucks changing on the fly as Justin Schultz skates back to center. To the right side, Brown chipping it behind Stanton. Atkin in there banging with Tanev. Mike Brown comes up with the puck for Edmonton. Fires it back to Schmid. He fumbles it, then regains possession and turns it over, and a stretch pass just missing from Henrik to Daniel. He's there first. Daniel backhanding it right through the crease, looking for Hansen, who fans on the one-timer. Stanton's shot goes wide. Pass is broken up by Hall as Tanev couldn't get it through. Now Mike Brown at the end of his shift will get it deep and head to the Oiler bench. Around the boards it comes. Stanton chips it to center. Belov takes it from David Booth. Back to Nick Schultz. And Schultz with some time. All the way to the right side to a charging Nail Yakupov. Yakupov in front. It's turned aside by Stanton. Now he's knocked off the puck by Arcobello. Yakupov chasing it along the near boards. Higgins takes it away and throws it back behind his own net. Jason Garrison up the right side. Booth with some space ahead to Kessler. He's got Higgins with him. They switch at the line. Kessler shot off the leg of Belov. Centering pass broken up, intended for Booth. And Yakupov at center now. His pass is knocked away by Edler. Bieksa picks up the loose puck and drops it for Alex Edler. Back in transition comes Dolpe as he chips and chases behind Petrie. Barbara throws it right back up the right side to Hemsky. He flips it to center, and Boyd Gordon will get it back in the Canuck zone. Hemsky is there first for the Oilers. Hemsky lined up by Bieksa, still holding the puck though. Boyd Gordon has it knocked away, and Edler will get it back to the line. Dolpe chipping it in the zone for Vancouver. Ference will pick up the puck as we approach the midway mark, ahead to Hemsky. Richardson breaks up the play. Hansen disses it to an open side. Petrie there to pick it off. Ference tries to hit Eberle. He can't get his stick on it. Icing waved off as Perron was in faster. He gets the pass to Hall. Hall can't get a clean shot. Hall buzzing now. Physical on Tanev. Forces a turnover. Perron goes down as Tanev knocks him off his feet. Now Weber is hit by a pinching Schmid. Eberle covering for him. Keeps it in. Richardson flipping it high, and it gets by Schmid and down the ice.
Much more competitive by the Edmonton Oilers now. This is better hockey.
A lot more jump, more grit. But trailing by 3. Henrik Sedin with 3 assists tonight. This is it a little too far up the left wing. Nick Schultz in his own zone. Too far for Brown. Bieksa sends it back in. Acton and Brown are out there now with Yakupov at the side of the net. Henrik Sedin. It gets away from Daniel. Pinching is Bieksa. Booth picks up the loose puck. He finds Henrik alone. He passes, and it's stopped by LaBarbera. Henrik looking for Daniel. But it's stopped by LaBarbera, who read it all the way with his paddle down in front. Sedin's up to their tricks again. Not this time. Time now for the Hockey Nut Close-Up, brought to you by Subway Restaurants. And in the focus tonight, John Tortorella.
Tortorella hoping his team can hang on for the next 9 minutes and 57 seconds, get his first victory as a Vancouver Canuck coach. You know, there's nothing sweeter than your first win in a new organization, and the fiery Tortorella, I'm sure, will really enjoy that. And then move on, because tomorrow they're in Calgary, so no time to savor the victory.
3 games in 4 nights. Tough start for the Canucks. Tortorella has been in fine form tonight and enjoying this one. 5-2 lead for the Canucks. Hall barging along the boards. He's got it. Back for Schmid is too far for him. Petrie is back first. Takes the pass to Schmid. And now Hall. Back in his own zone. Turning it over to Jannik Hansen. Hansen drops it for Henrik. Here's Daniel cruising in from the line. Hall lost his stick. He's back to pick it up in the corner. As Schmid has the puck on his stick, bouncing it to Hemsky. Alesh Hemsky gets it behind Edler. He recovers. Oilers changing as Edler flips it down the ice. Icing waved off. Yakupov scoops up the puck. Ahead to Eberle. Back to Yakupov at full flight across the Vancouver line. The young Russian turning up high. Back to Justin Schultz. He's in. Fires. Oh, that may have hit the post. Back to Ferentz, a blast. That misses the net. Here's Arcapello with a one-timer, and he just misses an open high side on the glove hand of Roberto Luongo. Back up ice, it's Booth. Booth's shot off the blocker of LaBarbera, knocked away by Justin Schultz. Bouncing behind the Oiler net to the corner. Booth banging with Ferentz. Bieksa walking the line. His pass comes outside the line. Hamhuis knocks it in, and the Canucks will clear the zone and change on the fly. Ferentz waiting for fresh legs up front for Edmonton. As time ticks away, 8:15 to go here in the third period. Edmonton down by 3. Gazdic loses the puck. Santorelli throws it in deep again. Weiss chasing Justin Schultz along the boards. It comes free. Richardson towards the net. Centers it right through the crease. Santorelli can't convert. Will Acton flips it to center. Stanton fighting a loose bouncing puck. It comes free. Gazdic had it slapped away from his stick by Richardson. Tanev takes a hit along the boards. Weiss will flip it off the glass and down the ice. Nick Schultz quickly back in his own zone. Santorelli on the forecheck. Got a stick on it. Acton picks up the puck behind his net. Belov doesn't like what he sees. Backs up as the Oilers change up front again. Nick Schultz looking for Ryan Smith. No stick on it. This will be icing against Edmonton.
Nail Yakupov showing his speed and agility. There's a spot coming through the middle. There's Craig McTavish and Daryl Cates, the owner. Right here, there's the agility. Boy, I'll tell you, that's pretty impressive. Then he spots a Justin Schultz coming in late. Schultz goes high, short side again. Hits a little bit of Luongo's shoulder and then hits a crossbar. Then Arcapello gets a chance right here with Luongo coming from his right to his left to open top part of the net.
Perron takes the pass from Smith, leaves it for Boyd Gordon, and the Oilers are offside at the Vancouver blue line. We'll take a break as the Canucks hold on to their 3-goal lead, out shooting Edmonton 37-18.
Points tonight, 4 on the season, so that's a good start. He and Daniel unveiled Sedin Corner at Rogers Arena tonight. It's a private suite that'll accommodate for each game 14 kids who normally wouldn't have a chance to see Vancouver games. Canucks quick out of here to fly to Calgary for tomorrow night's game. We'll have Henrik Sedin with us on After Hours for as long as time permits. It's the inaugural edition of After Hours, probably shorter than we like it, but it'll be Henrik Sedin with Gemini award-winning broadcaster Kelly Rudy and me on After Hours.
I like that, Scott. Keep that up.
It's quite a billboard. David Perron was given an unsportsmanlike penalty at the whistle, so the Canucks go back on the power play. They're 1 for 5 tonight. Kessler to Henrik Sedin along the boards. He'll trade places with Kessler, leave it for Daniel in the corner. Back to the point it comes. Edler looking for the tip on a shot pass by Kessler. That nearly worked. Edler runs into the linesman as Garrison is back to clean up, with Hemsky charging in shorthanded. Nick Schultz in his own end. Across to Ferentz and out. Kevin Bieksa, part of the core that John Tortorella is working with as he tries to reshape this Canuck team. Higgins fires, stopped by LaBarbera. He's been perfect so far. In relief, Devin Dubny. Now Hamhuis in deep. More of that risk-taking, more of that safe-as-death kind of hockey that Tortorella wants. Higgins battling for the puck with Gordon. He gets it to Booth. Booth rims it around the boards. Hamhuis waiting at the blue line. Takes the pass, fires. It's blocked up high by Boyd Gordon. Hamhuis gets the puck back down to Bieksa. In deep, throws it on goal. Stopped by LaBarbera. Hansen back to Hamhuis. Another shot pass. Bieksa is right in there. Tapped by Higgins. Can't solve LaBarbera, and the Oilers will get it down the ice. The penalty to Perron is over. Stretch pass, trying to catch Perron. He's out of the box. Here comes Bieksa. Schultz trying to hold him off. It's in the crease, still loose. Here comes Richardson. He pounces on a giveaway. In behind the net. Belov trying to find the puck. Santorelli is tied up. Now Stanton is pinching in deep, all the way from the blue line. Santorelli protecting the puck away from Justin Schultz. Still on it. What an effort along the boards. 3 Oilers now trying to dig the puck from Santorelli. The fans give him a big cheer. Holding the puck at bay. It comes free. Stanton along the boards. Can't find it. It squirts to Perron. And David Perron tries to make a move. He's stopped by Tanev. Arcobello gets it deep in behind the net. Eberle waiting. Arcobello cuts off the pass. Fires it on goal. Pad save Luongo. Pass is picked off by Gadzik. The slugger can't get his shot through. Stanton now will get it off the glass and out to center. Santorelli's got to be exhausted. Chips it in and heads for a change.
Great shift by Santorelli.
Is it ever? Vancouver native is so excited to be playing in his hometown. There's a loose puck knocked away from Schmid as Dalpe gets in there deep. Mike Brown, the former Canuck, chipping it in deep. Will Acton chasing down Garrison. He gets there first but can't get it out. Schmid waiting along the boards. Back for Brown. Brown chased down by Edler. Edler gets his arm around him, and this will be a penalty. A holding call coming to Alex Edler with 3:36 to go here in the third period. So the Oilers will get a power play as Edler corrals Brown in deep. John Tortorella, the new voice, new energy, new systems here in Vancouver. He's still got his core. He's got the Sedins, Kessler, Burrows, who's injured right now, Bieksa, Hamhuis. But 7 players aren't back from last season. Lapierre, Ebbett, Mason Raymond, Manny Malhotra, Aaron Volpatti, Keith Ballard, and of course Corey Schneider. And the Canucks talked about a youth pool, but that hasn't materialized. Many of their prospects haven't been able to stick with the club.
It's a lot of turnover, though.
It is a lot of turnover, especially in the bottom 6. So the Oilers will pull their goalie with 3.5 minutes to go. And a power play with Edler in the box for holding. Justin Schultz to Yakupov, his one-timer, misses. Hall back to the point. Schultz to Yakupov, and he misses again and slaps his stick in frustration on the ice. Kessler gets his stick in the road and gets it out. Yakupov, back up ice, is knocked down by Hall. Picked up now by Yakupov. He winds and fires, misses again. That's 3 misses on 3 attempts for Yakupov, and it's cleared back down the ice.
Some people may argue that the Oilers took their goalie out too soon. I'd say I like the move. You know what? They're playing to win, even though they're down 5-2 with over 3 minutes to go. Pull the goalie and see what kind of chances you can get.
Eberle dangling and a big rebound there that got away. Here's a long draw weight shot that just misses. And Justin Schultz is back to scoop it up. 2:20 to go in the period. A tall order for the Oilers, down by 3. Arcobello ahead to Perron. He knocks it down on the fly. Around for Ryan Smith in the corner. Leaving it for David Perron. Perron back to the line. Justin Schultz to Yakupov in front. Passing it through the crease. Nobody there to convert for Edmonton. Arcobello on the puck. Attacks, fires. Blocker save by Luongo. Garrison hits it off the glass all the way down the ice. It's got to roll towards the net. Here comes Schultz. He won't get there. Jason Garrison with his 2nd goal of the season, much to the chagrin of the Oilers general manager.
Even though it's a big risk to pull your goaltender, I still stand by my words, but I think it's a good move right here. Vancouver gets a lucky break, Garrison does, and with the rolling puck, but it doesn't really matter if you give up one more and you go down 6-2 at that point. Dallas Eakins, I believe, was playing to win, and that's what you do. You take chances and hope that you guys can somehow forge an unlikely comeback.
2nd shorthanded goal of the night for Vancouver. They've scored at even strength and on the power play. Jason Garrison with that perfect pinballing shot. Here's Hall rifling his wrist shot high and out of play. Foul play is afoot as a bicycle race turns deadly. Sean Cullen guest stars on an all-new Murdoch Mysteries Monday at 8 on CBC TV.
Well, with the Vancouver Canucks, I'd say short of a victory here, 6-2 with a minute 28.
Don't go out on a limb or anything.
Yeah, I know. Does that mean that young, or I guess it's not all that young, 25 years old, Eddie Lack, does he get the start tomorrow in Calgary?
Give Luongo the night off.
If they're trying to have Roberto play ballpark 60, 65 games, does that mean Eddie Lack gets his first National Hockey League start versus the maybe surprising Calgary Flames? 3 points.
Yes.
3 out of 4 on the road.
A lot of hustle on that team that was written off by most pundits early this season. We've reached the final minute of this hockey game. Delphi getting some ice in the final minute, banging with Will Acton. Scramble along the boards. Gazdic can't get it out. It's kept in by Bieksa. A golfing, bouncing shot that Delphi just missed, and Barbara will get a whistle.
Eddie Lack was limited to just 13 games last season because he had a bad left hip. He needed surgery. So he's had that repaired. He has a real strict stretching regimen now, even in off days.
Says he's more flexible now than he was before he got hurt.
Yeah, stretches no less than 3 times a day, including off days, and certainly paying off. Sounds like he's in great health.
Perhaps getting a chance to begin his NHL career. Petrie in the corner, leads it for Arcabello. Richardson on the forecheck. Schmid ahead. Yakupov outlets to Petrie for the dying seconds. Jeff Petrie. Long shot is gloved brutally by Luongo. Serenaded again here at home.
It's not an easy game for Roberto when you consider he's only faced 22 shots now. Not many difficult ones, and then his team maybe took their foot off the gas just a little bit. The Oilers got a little bit of life in the third period, and they had actually some pretty good scoring chances. Hit the post a couple times on Luongo, so he hung in there.
Oilers had the early lead on Jeff Petrie's goal, and then it all fell apart. 2 quick goals in 18 seconds as Luongo makes another save and then throws the puck to the corner. 2 quick goals by Hamhuis and Hansen. And the roof caved in on the Oilers as the horn sounds to end this hockey game. Luongo makes 21 saves in a 6-2 Vancouver victory as head coach John Tortorella gets his first victory as the new headmaster here in Vancouver.
Just an excellent display by the Vancouver Canucks. Can't talk enough about their puck support and how they were excellent in that department, puck management as well. And for the Edmonton Oilers, they're going to go home and face New Jersey. They're going to have to be a better team. There's no question about it. They're not going to win a lot of games if that's the sort of effort they're going to put out there.
Vancouver in complete control tonight as Luongo flashes a big smile. He gets his first win of the season. The Canucks outshooting Edmonton 44-23. A 6-2 masterpiece here tonight at home. Run.